live session with Paintology drawing app from Google Play Store. That's the app I use for all of my drawings that you can find on the channel. And also I do have another channel called Verdoos, which is my personal channel, and that also has many drawings that you can find with the Paintology. Excuse me. So I know many of you are interested in digital drawing, and some of you are put away from digital drawing because it appears to be have a different method to drawing that you may be familiar with, which is using a pencil and paper. But Paintology app has been designed to change that thinking because all the digital apps focus on tools to bypass all of the skills that has been taught. Let me open up Paintology. This is the drawing that we're going to do, but before we do that, let's head back. Save that. Save. Okay, and let's just go to the home page. You can see here. So when you install the app, you will see this. And the number of things that I wanted to mention if you're new to Paintology, or if you don't know some of the features, or you want to rapidly progress using this app in developing your art skills. So again, the point I was making earlier was digital drawing does not have to be about tools. If you already have seen some of my drawings, you'll see that I use one brush and zoom in and out, and I'm able to make drawings that are far different to many traditional digital art. That's because I don't make use of the tools, like the blending tools, the blurring tools, and all that. I use it just like I would drawing with a pencil and paper, and I have transferred those skills to digital. And digital is nothing more than a pencil and paper, and you can apply your fundamental core skills if you have learned that in traditional and carry it over. That's the reason why I'm natural with digital, and I don't have to rely on blending, blurring, fill, auto corrections, and all those. Those are great for illustrations and vectors, and they're typically used in cartoon animated type drawings. But then for fine arts, which is what I do, it's a little different. You have to use it manually. So here's one I did in about 30 minutes. It was with a dove. Can you see? That was done with one brush, nothing more. The brush I used was a line brush, and I varied the opacity to get the blending and the colors. So this really lends everything. This type of drawing lends to developing techniques. So I don't talk about tools. Some of you will come to the app. It hasn't got the layers, blending, blurring, fill, the thousands of brushes, and therefore it is not a good app. You shouldn't judge it like that. Let me tell you something. Do not judge, just like you would not judge a book by its cover. Do not judge an app based on the number of tools. What makes a great artist or a good artist is their ability to master techniques, art techniques. And when you've mastered art techniques, and those who have mastered it, they never talk about the tools. They talk about techniques, which in traditional, they've been teaching that for hundreds of years. So techniques is what I'm going to show you, not the application of tools. So if you go to a digital drawing class, you'll inevitably see the person rush to a tool in order to clarify what drawing is about. And the drawing is it's never going to appear like this because it's been used with correction, line tools, and it will just appear too perfect. Not perfect in the sense that it looks too digitized, yeah. So let's go back and let me show you a few other drawing. I did this using block coloring. This is the famous lips of Priyanka Chopra. So as you can see, that was done with one brush and nothing more, and using some manual blending techniques that I show on this. So you can find this in one of the you'll find that in one of the videos shown on the channel. I've been also posting shorts which people seem to like, but the real idea of Paintology is to get you drawing. I know many of you would indulge in social media, and that requires reading and then posting and using many of the thoughts that have meaning to you. But on the other hand, if when you're drawing, it's totally different. You are completely devoid of that meaning, of what others are doing. You're completely immersed in yourself and you're lost for the moment. It's probably one of the many reasons why people want to go into art, is because they can get lost in the moment, meaning in an hour or so they can feel that they have completely quietened the noise that's in their head and just draw. And that's why I continue to draw, and I love drawing. And I don't get frustrated with drawing because I'm always open to possibilities. And if you're as an artist, and if, and if you want to be a good art, always be open to the possibilities. Don't dismiss yourself on not lacking talent, lacking skills. You're only lacking those talent and skills because you're not practicing the right techniques. So those are techniques that I'm going to show you. Let me show you this hand. So you see I improved that. I started off with a line drawing, and this is a live tutorial you can find under the channel, on the Paintology channel, I think. Started with a live channel, and then I got zoomed in. Look at that. You can see the effects I created here, right? And then they don't. If you go to a museum and look close up at a canvas, you'll see that it doesn't make sense, right? The paintworks look splodgy, and all over the place. But when you look at it, becomes something that's recognizable and look very pleasant, right? Looks. So this was something I did, and it's got quite a number of hits, getting quite a number of views. But there are so many available there. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, okay, so the fact is that all my drawings that I show you in the live tutorial will be in this manner. So you can assume I'm going to use this phone. This is what I'm using right now. And I'm using my finger, simply my finger. That's it. And I have to admit that previously I got used to using a stylus. And then when I moved to the finger, I thought, wow, the finger is really powerful, just as versatile as a stylus, especially in the digital world. So this is what I'm doing, and I hope it will give you an opportunity to do that. You don't have to look for special tools for drawing. Okay, so a finger, your phone, Android phone, Paintology app, and away you go. The other thing I want to mention, yeah, this is a Google Classroom I created a short while ago, and I will provide a link in the description. So many of you want to get into drawing and learn the techniques. So the techniques I'm going to teach you are fundamental. They're not solely focused on the Paintology app. You know, if I were to use specific tools on the app, which I rarely change tools, you will see that it becomes dependent on the app. That's why a lot of people go on about the same apps that appear again and again, and they feel that there are no other digital tool apps to compete with that, which is completely wrong. You have to develop techniques, and the techniques taught in Paintology apply across the board in all types of art mediums. Trust me, these are what techniques are. It's not the use of the tools or the brushes. You know, a lot of beginners think, oh, he must have used this brush to do this, he must have used that. Total, it's completely wrong thinking. Developing techniques takes a little bit of practice, and Paintology has made it fun because it's a platform where you can develop these techniques. So it's quite a big classroom which you can go at your own pace and follow, and it tells you, goes through. It's very, very easy. Day one, so you can follow this, make your first drawing. So it gives you step by step direction. The draw tools introduces you to the drawing tool, painting, and then paint with color. Painting with, what does it say? Painting with community. So this tells you the community feature of the app, and then the Paintology tutorials. These are essential. These actually show you the practice of drawing based on specific tutorials that you can download. And you don't download, you basically get those tutorials, and it goes through quite a few, absolute, connected to all the various means of painting. Super fun. It's nothing challenging. I believe this is the only drawing method that's made learning drawing easy, fun, and interesting. That's what are the ideas behind this. So there's quite a few lessons that will keep you busy. And so when I talk about the tutorials, I'm specifically pointing to these tutorials here. That's from the home screen. You go to tutorials and you'll come across these categories. And these categories have been designed and organized to match your progress in drawing. So don't feel that you have to learn, you have to shoot for the stars right away. You have to start off slowly and still have the fun. A lot of people drop off in drawing and never embark on it again and dismiss it as a talent that they do not have. That's very wrong, and you'll be doing injustice to yourself. Drawing is not a talent that some people are born with. You have to understand and keep your mind open to learning the possibilities of what drawing is about. The reason why many turn to the drawing tools is because that's what they're right in front of them, that's what's given to them, and they feel, oh, I can do that, and then inevitably they lose the techniques that's required to do art, and that has it made the techniques that have made art so satisfying, rewarding to the many people who engage in it. And I'm hoping that Paintology will point you in that right direction. So there are organized many tutorials that you can find there, and there are lots of tutorials that you can do. There are a few of them, and then you simply give you one example here. That one. So that's very easy. This one. Let's draw the lips there. So change the brush size. I'm going to show you very quickly, and then you can go to 5 here, and then you can go to 3. See, and then you can change the brush size. Yeah, see that? Okay, it's very easy, and select the colors there. So that's paint by numbers, which really builds your confidence in doing drawing strokes. Doing drawing strokes helps your muscle memory and helps you to draw and see art in different art the way it was meant to be. And then block coloring is another technique, very satisfying to do, which essentially has in a trace mode, and that's what I'm going to show you, the block coloring way of doing. So there's like over 600 tutorials you can try. And then hopefully the Google Classroom that I showed you, if you get into it, sign up for it. It's totally free. Sign up for it and then go through the steps and just learn, follow the progress and learn. If you if because the point is that not many people know that digital drawing can be made this way, and a lot of people are skeptical that drawing can. It can be done. I've just proved it, and you can do the same. You can learn techniques. You don't have to jump to hundreds of tools. In fact, I usually stick to the brush, zoom in, zoom out, and then I can still make photorealistic drawings on the phone using my finger. If that's not proof enough, then I don't know what will be. But anyway, so let's go back to the home page, and let's go to my paintings and open up the this tutorial we're going to draw. So we're going to spend half an hour making this drawing, and I'm going to show you block coloring. It's beautiful, and I'm going to go to my one of my favorite brush, Haze Dark, and so let's go to. I usually keep it at 80%. No reason at all. You can keep it 100%. The reason I keep it at that is it behaves like a pencil. Then you have an opacity, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Let's let's go to full, and let's pick a color. You know, the green color we're going to do, and let's pick a bigger brush size. Okay, and now let's reduce the density and hardness. Look at that. Can you see? That is like behaves like an ink or a pencil. That and the lower you go, the more control you have over the opacity of that. And as you keep building it, it will become like the green shown on the left. Yeah. So you have control over the tones. This is having controls over the tone. Very powerful aspect of drawing is all about tones, and I don't think tones have been demonstrated in the digital medium until now, perhaps. But I just want to say the reason for being able to draw so well on the mobile using the finger is because of my appreciation of tones. And this is the trace method that fine tunes your understanding of tones and appreciation of tone and makes freehand drawing a breeze. And because your tones, your mind becomes tuned to the tonal variations after having drawn and then observing and drawing and practicing this way. So I'm not going to undo, so let's go back and discard this, open it up again. So we have this on the top half of the trace bar, very important. You have the image, and that's the image. That means the color picker, let me clear the palette before, color picker will pick out that particular image. But remember, we had it in a very density, so we're going to take it up to 80%. Okay, so let's do that again. Go to the, let's put it, I usually put it in halfway, just above the halfway mark. Then I can select the tones and see my image as well, see my drawing. You can see there, and then here, and then see, I pick the color picker and then the tone. And by the way, my daughter, when we were driving, and she wanted to make a drawing. She's 9 years old, and then she came up with a brilliant idea that I'm going to adopt, which is a block coloring without having to select the color picker all the time. It just came to her so naturally while she was making a drawing of a cat, her favorite subject. And she's 9 years old, and then she kept saying the words, "Ooh, I love Paintology." It's quite funny, actually. But there you are. See the colors? Do you see it? See the colors? Now, if you pick the tone here, where my cursor is, See, it picks the right color tones, right? So that's how we're going to do the block coloring. And you see those droplets, the variation, the white. Let's pick the white here and see what kind of white it has. Look, it's not quite white, but it's still very light colored, isn't it? So let's go back and open it up again. And then let's start defining the shape and the leaf with a broad brush size. So typically to leave at 80%, you can use the full size, not a problem. In fact, I will, just to show you that I'm not doing anything untoward. 23%, and then usually that's about the big broad size brush that I use. So again, I'm going to go color picker, yeah, and then just use that local color. Look at that, just local color, and then just drawing this colored region of the leaf. I'm starting with the leaf. See that? I'm picking. Can you see the tonal? I've got it just above the midpoint, and it's quite a broad brush. That's only because I want to cover a large area quickly, right? Using my fingers. I'm not worried about these droplets at all. So since I've been doing these tutorials, I have to admit, it's got me back into drawing, and it's making drawing very pleasurable for me. And I hope you're finding the same. And I would really appreciate any feedback you have and anything you want to see. And if you have a particular subject you want me to draw, then by all means use the comment section to let me know. Okay, so I'm just drawing it's quite a big brush. You see the yellow that I couldn't really pick out unless I had a smaller brush. The reason why I want to do that is lay down the first shapes that I can work with, yeah, and then get to the next step of the drawing. Okay, so I don't worry about having picked the exact color, because if by doing always continuously selecting the color picker, you are basically, you'll be surprised with how many of the green tones that I have picked out by using the color picker. Look, can you see all this tone? You wouldn't believe. That's what gives painting depth, to know those tones, and artists have different ways to get those techniques. Yeah. So again, here, did I do anything here? I did actually. Yes, I did. It's hard to tell. You can go move back and forth, right, and see your image. Move back and forth like that. That's the thing. And don't worry about it. You're thinking, oh God, it's dreadful. Look, don't pay attention to what people say. Then tell them, go and have your lunch break or coffee break and come back in an hour and I'll show you what I've made. Yeah, if you think you're going to get it in one go, any artist who thinks they're going to get it in one go, you're completely mistaken. No artist is going to do that unless they go through pixel by pixel using hyperrealism, and everyone seems to be wowed by that. It's not a real special skill as such. It's just that they're able to do that because they've got a good knowledge of tones, but their artistic skill and flair will be confined because they're not drawing like this, are they? They're going. If you wanted to, I'll show you how hyperrealism can be done. If you want to do it, here I'll show you. This is how you do it. You zoom in as much as you can, select the brush size, look practically all the way, 1%, look what I'm doing, look, right. And then keep doing that. Look at that. I am picking out the exact color tones that varies within that sub-region, sounding like Star Trek. Subatomic particles, sub-communication, sub everything, isn't it? Look, can I see? Look, can you see it? See it? You see it, what I mean. That is the creation of hyperrealism. Look. The reason why they make it so big is because they can go and get in this close. Nothing extraordinary at all. And let's zoom out, and then you'll see that bit there. That bit, if I kept doing it all the way across with 1%, you soon get a hyperrealistic drawing. That cannot be. So, but that's not really, to me, I don't spend that many hours in drawing. Why should I? I could make so many other drawings. I need to improve my speed. So let's go back to what we were doing. Just go quickly like that. Look how I'm pulling the different colors. I'm not going too far ahead. See how black it is there? I'll show you how to blend this afterwards. Using my fingers. Okay, that's it. There. Then just keep selecting the color picker. I can't wait to introduce the new tool that my daughter has given me an idea for block coloring, which will be even more rapid. I think everyone will start doing it that way, draw. That's the beauty of drawing here. You can see what I have right now. Let's go look at that drawing. And look at that, what we have, yeah? Okay, now you can see what details do I want to create and what do I need to do to go to the next step. This is part of the drawing process, which many people forget or don't know about. And hence they're the tools. An example of tools that digital will throw into is layers. And layers, I can't understand why people want to draw with layers, unless of course they're doing a vector illustration and a perfect rendition of web graphics, internet, for posters, anything. If you want to go in that direction, by all means, go ahead. But if you want to draw like fine arts, you can't rely on those tools, and it just will be far too long. I mean, this is my personal preference. It was the reason why I built Paintology in the first place. Yeah. So okay, so let's go and see what we can tackle here. I can see, right, you can use this button on the left and flick through, right? So you got that button, flick through. Sometimes that works. Yeah, flick through your drawing and the actual drawing and see where the change is. I can see that I first create a boundary. There's no personal way of doing this. What I mean is I'm going to create a boundary, meaning I'm going to select this brush size, yeah? So to do that, let me take it down. Let's have a guess. That's too big, so I'm going to take it down more. This boundary, when I say this boundary, I mean the edges. You saw the edges, 5%. 5% usually go there. So you can see now I'm going to go here. The boundaries, can you see that? The boundaries that was there in the original. There. Then I'm still following the, there, can you see it? There. Look there. Can you see from that image they've got this tone here? The original is that they have that tone there and then a very darker tone there. So then a dark tone there. And then I can see that the next step I would probably want to do is, look, we can get to the details. So every time I'm doing something different, when I'm out drawing, I'm always doing something different. Trust me, I never draw in the same way. I can see it, that area, the black here. Okay, there's the black, and then there's a very thin area, but we haven't got the brush size to do that. But there is a technique for doing that. I'll show you. Let's say you want to do that, and you want to get this green. Well, you can lay down this green and then lay down the adjacent green. And look what we have. We've made it thin, right? That's it. That's the techniques. That's a technique that you can say I can apply it to this drawing. So don't worry if you don't get it right away. Now here, the same thing, doing the white, and then how long do you want to spend doing this? It's entirely up to you. Okay, there. Which means how long do you want to have, what brush size do you want to use? The hyper-realistic brush size and spend a couple of days? Or like me, wanting to do this in 1 hour or less and pulling it off that way? To me, that sounds like a better option, isn't it? Okay, very quickly, let's save this. Don't forget to save the work, just in case something happens. You're not like, it's not like something's going to happen, but see that? So, and then just remove that. Look at that beautiful green there. And then there's that perfect. Then look, that green there. There. Don't worry about the little ones. We'll come back to it. But right now I'm just focusing on the big globules here, the water droplets here. Look, as I'm doing this, I am really tuning my brain into this tone. Believe me, I have made photorealistic drawings much more rapidly in digital art than most other people. The reason is I draw like this. There's the enjoyment of drawing like this. And then when I come to do it freehand, don't underestimate thinking, oh, that's all you can draw by. Totally not true. I have made freehand drawings. You just have to look for it. And I can make those freehand drawings because I have improved I've tuned my brain into thinking of the different tones that exist. It's like I give the example of a car. Let's say you want to buy a car, and what happens? That model car appears everywhere before you buy it, right? It's like you've never seen so many on the. That's because your brain's tuned to it, because you're thinking about it all the time. So that is the importance. Don't. The problem with beginners is that they prejudge. They have a tendency to prejudge because they don't know what they're talking about. So it's a natural to prejudge what's going on, and a lot of people, because they don't have the underlying techniques, the underlying reasoning, they prejudge something, and that is not based on experience, is it? Okay, I'm just going. Let's see what we have here. See now developing some of the first bubbles. Yeah, there's some of the first bubbles. It's coming a lot better, isn't it? You'll see as I go around the edges, right? Picking out the color tones here, here, and then here, and then picking up these tones here. You can see here we've got that beautiful tone, and then there, that lovely tone, and then here, and then let's keep looking at it. Yeah, we're shaping that. Let's shape the lower part of the tree. All right, there. And pick the color tones of that. Right, and then pick the color tone of this, that, this white here, and then see what that looks like. Yes, an improvement, isn't it? Now you can see, because of you've got this drawing, you're making a drawing pass each time, you're able to see what the next step is, right? Every time. So the part of the drawing process is that you can't get to the next step until you've reached this step. And that's what most beginners will fail to understand. They see many drawings made. Unfortunately, they see many drawings made from A to B, and they think all drawing has to be made in one go. And they haven't or want to learn the techniques. I mean, most artists are not going to be able to show you the techniques in a matter of an hour, because it's in this based on a lot of experience which they can only show so much in traditional. But the great advantage of digital is that I can show you the techniques in real time, because I produce a drawing really fast. You can produce a drawing really fast. Right, just let your fingers do the walking. Beautiful. And then we'll have the top part of the, oh, look at that. So lovely, isn't it? No wonder droplets are so fascinating to people looking at it. Just following my fingers. I can see how the tone changes depending where your fingers landed. Okay. Remember that bit that we did? I want to show you the demo. Pixel by pixel. It's swamped in the bigger brush. You can see variation in the two tones there. So let's see what we have. So we've got a really interesting blend, and then we can go back and forth, see what we need to create. You know, you think I'm finished with this? You're totally wrong. There's so much more to do, and then we're not going to use any tools. Notice I haven't changed my tools. I've kept 100%, 100%, and it's at 5%. So the only thing I did was bring my brush size down as I went along. So let's do this bit here, that bit that's sticky. Well, we still have the brush size here. Look at the different, let's zoom in. Let's see that, look at that beautiful tones there. Another tone there, and then a black tone there, white, lovely white tones there. Right, and then here, it's all about tones. A lot of artists go explaining how the light falls on the subject. I've never really been a big fan of that, because I can see tones without having to appreciate where the light's coming from. You know, because the complexity of the light is so complex. It's difficult to say the light comes from this angle and hence the whole form, because you got reflections, you got things that cover the light, then you got reflections of that. It's just so hard to visualize. If you're going to draw something, you go tones. Get down to the tones, mate. That's all. It's all about tones. There, the different tones. That's it. Why do you care where the light's coming from or not? Okay, we can take that color and then just get that color. So as we're drawing, we're putting in the different layered there. Let's see what we've got. Look at that. Can you see it almost coming alive, isn't it? Now, let's focus on that now. Look at that, beautiful. This is what you have to enjoy nature to really appreciate drawing. That's so lovely, isn't it? There. That's it. There. There. Color picker all the time. Color picker. Look at that. And then there is that green. Look at that green, and then I can, like I did last time, offshoot that green, reduce it. Yeah, don't know what that is actually, but so we picked a reasonably good brush size for that. So we haven't got all the details you can see here, but look, it's now slowly that bubble in the middle, that water droplet, is taking on a whole new shape, isn't it? So I can go rapidly through that because of my experience. I can see how quickly to get the final results. So I'm just slowly just trying to add more depth by the tonal variations that I see, you know. Right. And you learn a great deal, I'm telling you. Let's have a look. Perfect, isn't it? Now you can see there's some areas that need addressing, and then we'll just go through that and then just go across, see what. So with the smaller brush, I'm able to pick out variation in the, so the smaller brush automatically zooms in and allows me more control over the tonal variations that are happening at a smaller, at a magnified level, yeah? And that makes the difference to the drawing altogether. See how the tones change? Wow, you didn't think that tones change at such a small scale. But that's the thing, is the images consist of millions of tones. That's why you have 4K TV, isn't it? That renders images more realistically. 4K, billion colors. Can't try and do that as an artist. Impossible. But this gives you an ability to draw and understand those tones. Okay, so just go there and then just keep doing that. Not a problem. Yeah. Let's see what we have here. Yeah, now you can see it's still shaping up, and eventually it's going to get close to it. Maybe not real, but I could, if I wanted to, carry on and on until I get close to that. And what has that trained me in? Has trained me in the ability to fine tune my colors that I need to pick from digital. And in oils, the reason why oils is so popular with artists is because they can create the different tones by mixing colors. But with digital, it's so much easier. You got the color picker. It's so powerful. People just forget the power of the digital medium. Okay, so let's go here and then just keep working at it with the smaller brush. Just cleaning up some of the areas. Nothing more. I'm not doing anything else. All right. Here, look, that that is part of the structure of that plant, isn't it? The leaf. So I'm going to make sure I create that region, that thing. It just egging me to bring it out. You can see it. Just telling me to show my stem, the river of life, isn't it? The blood flow, what the leaf uses to, it's the very leaf uses to nourish itself, isn't it? That stem. So just locally picking out. Remember, as I have it in the over the halfway position, I can get more closer to the localized tones that's happening. Okay, yeah. See now that leaf, that strong areas come out. It's shaping up now, isn't it? Now I can see I can work on this area right now. Look at that. This is the dark. And then I'm still sticking to it stubbornly with the brush size I have, although I'm keen to get this to a lower brush size so I can work on the details. But I'm reluctant to do that until I've managed to make this size work for me and cover most of the area. Because like I said, I don't want to be spending too long on this drawing. I've got hundreds of other drawings that I would like to do. Right, so just getting that. See, just sticking to that region, getting the colors right around just getting these colors. So it looks like I'm picked up the tones. Look at these little veins that are now showing. I don't know if I'm going to get around to that, but at least I can just lay down these interesting colors. The darker tones, the light. Look, there's the darker tone there. Darker. There's a light tone. Okay. All right, let's see where we are on that. Really shaping up, isn't it? And now what we can do is, I can see, do you think we should fix this with a different, let's go to 2.5%, yeah? Let's get this baby down to a little tiny detail. Think it's escaped from us? No way. Nothing's gonna escape us here. Okay, get these green tones, the white tone, and now it will look like more realistic and not blocky, right? Fingers still, using the fingers. Look at these tones that are changing on the out. Make sure you capture that, this tone. And then don't forget the white, that's also a tonal variation that's happening. You need to capture that. Look at that. Darker tone. There. Then go all the way forward. And then use your the thing to see where you are. You know, the trace bar. Look at that, there's lots of line. And then there's that green line. Look at that, beautiful. Oh, right. Look, that's even taken over his shape, isn't it, by itself? Now I can see, can get on with the other bubbles, right? Look, right there. Right, just keep using the, there. Just, and then you'll find that I'm keeping it really confined. Have you noticed that I'm picking the color tone, the color picker, but also confining the area of strokes fair, because it's the small brush size, and I might as well create the details and what are the details? These water droplets, isn't it? That's the focal point here, isn't it? Yeah, and then just watch it. Right there. Let's see if we've got that down. Perhaps not, but let's see what we have. Oh yes, because of this. Can you see? It's because of this darker region. Look at that. That darker region escaped us, didn't it? There, look at that. Right there, see? And now, okay. Then go here and just add that black around it. And let's see if that looks good. Yes, better, isn't it? Now let's do the same thing here. Let's see that there. Look at that darker region. So adds the contrast. And then there's that dark green. So we can do that. That's my, you can see that's my screen, right? And this is the actual, like the gray, which we got. And then we got blending here. And it's all about blending, which is really the key to getting photorealism and realism. Okay, so now what we got here? It's getting better, isn't it? Better and better. I can see now that we have a smaller brush, we can tidy up the details right here. Right, just tidy it up. Then don't forget to select the color while you're there. Ooh, that's hard color, isn't it? Right, so give it depth. What we got? Okay, it goes round. Okay, and then we go here. A white, then here. See that? The very focused green gives it a little bit of sharpness. Can you see? Just when you flick through it. And then can you see that green, beautiful green that gives it like a dimension. the tonal variation. Let's see that. All right, you can carry that green down, and let's take that. That's definitely a circular patch, isn't it? We don't need. And this dark here. All right, and then colors here. Okay. All right. And then notice I'm also following the strokes of that tone variation, yeah? There. Now what have we got here? It's not there here. So I'm going very quickly. Remember, I'm more experienced than you are, but honestly, it won't take you that long to get used to this, because it's not so much a real difficulty in learning the techniques. The techniques will come about from you doing this kind of drawing, doing this way of look, perfect. And then let's tackle this white spot there, the green. We got the green, and then look at that. There's a green patch here. All right, there. And there is a light green here. Okay. All right. Let's see if we've. It is a difficult one to do, but you can practice with a few other droplet paintings that I've done using the app. You'll find them on the channel. All right, let's finish this one there. Can you see it? That green, dark green, and there's another dark green. Let's pick the adjacent green color, and then can you see that? I didn't pick the exact green. Right, that's the green that I was looking for, right? There. Right, to give that shape. And then look at that dark green there. Wow. Right there, and then there. And then we can take some of that out. The size, remember I said? Take some of that. And then let's see what we have here. Got a very light green, right? And then a bit of the white here, grey. Okay. And then we can see what it looks like afterwards. Look at that dark green, and then this tiny one. Let's pick that. Let's pick this color and then just plaster it there. Okay, if we can't get the exact color, and then let's see what it looks like so far. Better, isn't it? An improvement, isn't it? As we keep going about it, it's improving and improving, isn't it? Now, what have we got here? Have we done this properly? I think we have tackled this, isn't it? So let's see if did we tackle it with the, yes, we did, didn't we? Or was it with a bigger brush? But still, we can keep improving it as we keep painting it, yeah? Different colored region. Look, different depth of color gives it depth. All right, that's how you get depth. Okay, and then here. All right, That's it. Let's do that. Alrighty. Now what do we got here? It's much better, isn't it? And then let's go here. Just keep block coloring. Pick the colors. Just do it. If you're not sure what to do, just keep using the block coloring, like color picker. Just keep doing that. Don't worry about getting it perfect. Right there. There's no white there. Alrighty, look at that. So much better. Now, what do we got here? Oh, we got this lovely green stems that feeds the water, nutrition, the minerals, right? So we can just follow that with the brush we have. Just follow it, not too right there. Look at that, right? Then we have a lot of green, isn't it? So we might have to increase that. Right, and then increase that. Increase that. Just gives it a bit of shape. There. And then we can go down. Right, look at that, to do this color here. Right, just follow it. Just do it. Don't. Right, very quickly, rapidly. No biggie. Then if you run out, just press the zoom button and you'll get closer to the detail. Yes, perfect. Let's see what that looks like. Better, isn't it? Okay, look, much better. Now let's clear up this one area here. Right, and then let's pick that bit of a bigger size. Let's go here, right, and then here, and then here, okay? Let's do really rapidly. Okay. Okay, because we used a bigger brush, so now we're cleaning up the tonal variations there, then here. See, now we see what's going on, right? Details, so we can. Okay, there. Very quickly, rapidly. Right, don't worry about the details. The details will come. Okay, then what have we got here? Got a lot of green. That's okay, so can you see it? There is such a plain, it's very plain, isn't it? Okay, there you are. So now you can see that we've cleaned this area up, right? It's like the shadow, isn't it? These are the shadows that are coming out. And look at that. is this strain here. This, remember 1%? This beauty here, look at that. Oh yes, we gotta do that. Yes, look at that. And then here quickly, yeah? Wow, no, don't take too much time and make it look too choppy. Just natural strokes. Wow, look at that. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, we've got to save, isn't it? Save. All right then. So look at that, shaping up, isn't it? So much. What else can we do? Well, this every time you go to your drawing process. Let me save it. Did we save it? Yeah, we did. Every time you go to your drawing step, now you can see if you had not reached this step, you would not go to the next step, which essentially is this here. It's like it's telling me I need to address this bit. Just telling me. You know, I've got the very small brush, so I can add more details to this little thing. Yeah. Okay, because it still hasn't got that shape. I can see it hasn't quite got that shape that I want. And then here, look at that green. Right? Look at that green. Look there. Can you see it? Tonal change. Once you recognize these tonal variation, it'll make all your drawing easy. Trust me, easy it will. Right there. Let's see what lies at the top. There, isn't it? Now you can see it's really shaping up. Anything that you see here, like for example here, you can just clean it up. Right there. It's a very small brush size we have, so keep that in mind, yeah? So there you are. It's like really interesting. Now, is there any shape here? You know what you can do right here where you can get really clever, right? You can say, well, you know what? This got a darker tone, but I'm going to take it even darker. You know, why not? Add the illusion. You notice I'm picking the dark black. You notice it's not then giving this dot some shape. Right here. And then even go a little black. Right there. Well, let's see what that looks like. Has that sort of made it into a bubble? Yeah, it does. Look, it does look like a bubble, doesn't it? Same thing. We'll do that with here. Got the dark color tones. And say that, you know what, you're missing some black bits that defines you a little bit. So, since we've seen the shape of the bubbles, so let's add that. And let's add a little bit of the darker shade here, right? Let's add that. Okay. Just trying to get the shape. Yeah, not too, it doesn't have to be too dark because look, it's a contrast, isn't it? Just a little bit to give that form like a bubble. gives it form. Right there. That gives it that form. Right, we can go darker on that. There, look at that. Yeah, don't use the same. Wow, look, see what I mean by those dark tones? That's really what I was meaning. So pick that dark tone here, and then do what it's doing here. It's showing you that there's aspects of it. There, let's have a look. Oh yeah, it makes a difference, doesn't it? So look at that. And then this one, you need a dark tone, baby. Alrighty. There. Then just a bit at the top. There, giving the illusion of dots, yeah? So now we can round it up. It's not quite photorealistic, but we can round it up and say, well, how do you get this nice blending here going on? Got you. But trust me, this is the easiest thing in the world, and I'm going to finish it off with selecting a brush size. Let's save this for now so I can show you the difference between what I do now and spend the next minute doing what I'm going to do. 10%, then click that. Here it comes. Take it all the way down. Yeah, look. There you are. Look at that blending. It's not even bigger enough. So take it bigger. Right, look, take that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Right, I'm still using that green and I'm just shading it in, and then this will be blended. This baby will be blended. Look at that. You didn't think that was possible, did you? Huh? Well, there you are. So maybe take that down, and maybe bring that green tone a little bit down. That green tone, yeah. And then maybe bring that tone even lighter to really take it out, doesn't it? Right. Then add a bit of the black tone. All right, let's see. We have it. There you are, isn't it? Do you think that's done? I think that looks not too bad. But if I want to, I'd probably take that into this level, and I could if I could just keep going. But you can see what you can do with a matter of space of an hour or so, yeah? So let me sign that, and I hope you're picking up important things here. If not, just feel free to comment. I always respond to comments. It's something I should do if I'm taking the time to show you. It's only right that I also reply to your the Paintology. All right, there you are. So let me save that. Okay, so there you are. So this is a drawing I've just shown you how you can get away without any digital effects. The only thing we had was stuck to one brush, changed the brush size, and then towards the end, I showed you blending by bringing these down. That's it. Nothing difficult about that. If you're a good drawer already and a good drawing, then there should be no problems for you. And if you're not, you can see the power of digital drawing. It makes it look, you don't need the tools to create all this. This is how you do it. Start from basic principles, and hopefully I've shown you some important techniques of digital drawing. And I hope to bring you more next time. So feel free to tune in again and see you then. Thank you. Bye bye.